Hello. Today we're going to be talking about rod knock. Right here I have a block from a 2.2 liter Ecotec engine found in some General Motors products. I've already taken the connecting rods off of cylinders 2, 3, and 4. And while I was just taking this apart, I noticed something. I just thought I'd video it so you guys could understand a little bit better how what rod knock looks like, how it occurs, things like that. So right now we have cylinder number 1 here, and as you can tell, there's a lot of play, a lot of movement right here, and you can even kind of hear the knock itself. So when rod knock occurs, generally it's due to a lack of lubrication. So you can see this oil journal here in the number 4 connecting rod journal passage. Somehow along the way this journal was starved for oil. So what happens actually is the bearings inside seize to the crankshaft and they actually spin. And once they spin, the rotational force of the engine just kind of pounds on that bearing material and wears it out, and the longer the engine runs, the more pronounced the knocking, and that knocking will increase and decrease with engine RPM. So let's just take this apart here so we can take a look at what the bearing looks like. And you can have bearing failure for other reasons. Sometimes foreign material can get it through the oil passages and just kind of chew away at all the bearing surfaces. Sometimes if you have a head gasket that goes bad and coolant contaminates the oil system, that has been known to wipe out bearings as well. Let's just take a look here once we get these out. Perfect. So we get the bearing cap up and out of the way. Excellent. So indeed we have a spun bearing here. Let me grab some light, shed a little light on the subject, so you can see the bearing is actually rotated in here, and here's the other half of the bearing down here. So this is great. I'm glad that this did this. We'll pull these off here and get them pulled out. There's one portion. The next portion. Excellent. So I wanted to show you this here. So again, like I was talking about, the rotational force of the engine, the rotational force of the crankshaft has just pounded these out. So they are just paper thin right here. Okay, and just kind of mushroomed them out. You can also notice when you're inspecting bearings, you want a nice, even, uniformed wear pattern. You can kind of see how rough this wear pattern is in here. A little bit of scarring, scalding. That's due to a lubrication issue, and based on how pitted it is in here, it's very possible that we had some foreign material or just really bad dirty oil in here caused this failure. But just as a perspective here, so you can get an idea of what a good one's supposed to look like, or one that's whole, you can see right here the thickness variation. So this one still in fairly good shape, still fairly thick. This one is not thick at all. So just a good visual inspection can tell you basically, oh, this one's failed. So we can look in this wear pattern here. You know, there's still a little bit of scarring, a little bit of scalding here. We could have had just lack of lubrication in this one as well. Over in this side, yeah, but this by far looks a lot better than this bearing here. So you can even see on the back side how it's spun in the connecting rod. And we'll grab the bearing cap here. Oops. You can kind of see the scarring And this is all real rough to the touch. You can take your fingernail and scrape it across and just feel how rough it is. So the bearing, when it seized to the crankshaft, actually caused it to spin in here. So this is a visual of what a spun bearing, what happens when you spin, or when a bearing is spun. So just good visual on what that looks like. And well, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something.